Seen that? No? Very heavy on ice and things like that. And as you can hear from the dialogue, the snippets we had here, it was all about the lives of the bourgeois family and conflicts within the family and so on. So it's very much the Ingmar Bergman version of LARP, very much so. And when they started, I wasn't there myself, but this is documented in the Knudpunkt literature, so you can look it up. A Quiet Dinner with the Family is what it's called. And it was anything but a quiet dinner, of course. So the first day was devoted to just presenting players with the scripts, these scripts that they collected as a background for this LARP, so they could go through the scripts and get familiar with the roles. And then they started, and they used a number of, and this is where I get to the next interesting thing here. This is my symbol of narrativism. You can't read it because it's in Swedish, but I'll translate it for you. It's role exercises, meta techniques, and then a whole series of just techniques for how to probe the roles properly. And that's what they do. So they had a couple of techniques, for instance, the black box, which was the player and an organizer in a room that's completely empty, just essentially a boom box and them. And then they do a flashback to highlight something dramatic or chromatic that happened in this role before the LARP starts. And other examples was the monologue, and I think that's what we saw there with the fellow sitting on the chair. It's a way to all the other players turn into audience while this one person is sitting down and essentially just pouring out what his role is thinking about right now. And that was a way to tap into the inner life of a character that usually does not get exposed in a LARP, because we're in our characters, and why would my character ever say things like that? Because he wants to keep it a secret. And in this case, they're using that meta technique to allow all players to take part of the inner life of the character. And that's a meta technique then, just to be able to probe all the sides of the story. And that's the focus in this value system, story. I also, just to go back here, the inner journey, themes, and in this case it was the theme of what can go on secretly within a family, which is a very classic theme for Bergman and Lars von Trier and all these dramatic directors. Also the director storyteller. So this is a storyteller that actually, an organizer that can actually stop the action and say, we're taking a break here because we want to highlight something that goes on either inside a character or before this scene and so on. So you can have stops and breaks, kind of like a movie director. And also even they described in the piece for the Knudpunkt, they described how the organizer will even, a player wants to leave a scene, and then the organizer, no, you shouldn't leave yet because the cool stuff is about to happen. But they'll gently go up to the player and just lead them back into the room, saying as a cue to the player, nope, you're not allowed to leave yet because cool stuff is about to go down. So it's a very interventionist style of organizing, and it's all about trying to mine the story for all its dramatic potential. So that's the narrativist style. Let's go on to the immersionists. And these are the three words I use: authenticity, craftsmanship, and the 360-degree illusion. This is all about staying in character all the time, 100%, and having the perfect world around you. There shouldn't be anything that removes from the authenticity of the experience. And here's some footage from a fantasy LARP. It's a war LARP, so there will be crying and screaming.
And where's this set in?
This is in the forest of Sweden.
In Sweden?
But the
forest in
fantasy
Sweden?
world. Yeah, of course. Lots of them, in fact. It's a fantasy world, right? I think it's like inspired by the 16th century, but they've combined all sorts of different cultures. Very much focus on props and fabrics and all that sort of thing. And let's have little. Oh, there we go. Of course. Yep, that's an intense scene there.
So let me get this straight, it's about a forest?
Those people are LARPing in trees really well.
It's trapped in time. There's a magical circle holding it in
I wish my
place.
boss was that, but I wish I could eat trees.
Sorry, Wes, you just vanished into snowdrifts.
Well, we're
We have to follow
waiting.
it.
Actually, I have a question about the last one.
Yep,
We have the second.
Sure.
For the, what was the first one called? The first
the narrative style?
Yes.
Yeah.
For that, you said that everyone is given scripts.
Yeah.
Is that like background scripts, or is that things that you have to do? Like, do they tell you you have to at some point pick a fight with Paul because he's bald?
That is a meta technique that has been used by
I see.
them. I'm not sure if they used it for that particular LARP. In that case, it was more, let's use these scripts as an inspiration for our LARP. So we're just ripping the characters out of these scripts.
I see.
And they did the same for Hamlet, essentially.
So in a narrative style, generally speaking, people don't get to create their own characters, rather they're given the characters by whoever's organizing at the time? Or is that just the case that they used in that?
In that particular LARP, that's all.
Okay, yeah.
No, I almost get the feeling of a very murder mystery-esque type thing that I've seen here in Edmonton with when.
Yeah,
Like
kind
watching
of.
that.
In terms of the organizing
Yeah.
being so guiding, absolutely.
The difference is that
We
we
have
have stories,
some of
not
it.
on,
We have
Yeah.
some of it.
not trying to get away with the murder, not necessarily trying to whatever, but, playing in character and getting the story across.
Yeah, there's-
So it may well mean sabotaging yourself in the story.
Okay, I think it might work now. Hopefully.
You're supposed to translate.
It's just a name of a
Okay.
country in the fantasy world.
Charge! No.
Like for Esselmere.
And note too that the camera is kind of staying off to the side because, of course, if it's all authentic, you can't have a camera in the player's view. That's going to break immersion. So they've hidden it somewhere in the woods so no one can see it while they're in their character and doing their thing. Oh, here we go. Yep. 16th century, yeah, that goes. No computer. Okay, we have to pause it for a moment because it's going to stall. But note how people dropped there. There was nothing in that gun. So that's an instruction players get before the LARP starts. If you get close to a handgun or a cannon and it goes off, fall, because you're probably been hit.
There's a lot of Civil War reenactment in the US that's sort of
Yeah, it's not too
does
bad.
this kind of stuff.
I don't know what that sound is.
Alan vacuum.
They probably built that set for this particular LARP. That's not what's on
Happy birthday.
As well.
Lone guy.
Brother.
Yeah, he's in for it.
Meet you.
Which is happening.
Every slippery guy.
How much ever guy is running in the opposite direction?
I'd be nowhere near this.
It looks like Bar Harbor.
They managed
I don't know what that is.